Wow, what an evening here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 5, Manchester City 1. A huge result for Arsenal. Fantastic occasion to be here. There's a brilliant atmosphere even now. They can't get the fans to leave the stadium. They're serenading Ian Wright. They're hoping they're going to see, I guess, one of the players come out and do an interview with the TV cameras. They don't want to leave, and who can blame them? This was a really, really special occasion. And it's been a long time coming, I think. A result like this for Arsenal against Manchester City, who've caused us, let's be honest, so much pain over the past couple of years, who've effectively cost us a couple of league titles, who've been the team that have beaten us to the punch when it's come to these title races. That's built up a lot of resentment, a lot of anguish, a lot of pain, and today was cathartic for a lot of people, I think. And cathartic in terms of the season. This has been a season where it's felt like so much hasn't gone our way, hasn't gone for us. The breaks haven't fallen for Arsenal. And today, the sense of relief and joy in the stadium was really something to behold. A fascinating game as well. Certainly a game of two halves. It really did hinge on those first couple of goals. You know, Arsenal went ahead early on, capitalising on that City mistake, but that almost kind of led us to sit back and try and catch City in possession. We did it again. Kai Havertz should have made it 2-0. I worried that was a miss that was going to cost us, and we allowed City plenty of time on the ball. They came back into the game, and you felt eventually they would punish us. They did, but as soon as it went to 1-1, the game shifted on its axis again. Suddenly the onus was on Arsenal to chase that win, and boy did they do that. And when they really went for City, we saw that they just couldn't live with us. They just couldn't live with us. The physicality in midfield, we were running through them at times, and City looked like a spent force in that second half. Let's talk about some of those second half goals. I mean, Thomas Partey scores immediately. Poor pass from Phil Foden. Bit of luck with a deflected finish, and Arsenal are back in front. Then Myles Lewis-Skelly, probably the moment of the match, you'd have to say. The moment that really sort of settled the game. And an academy player made a big call today, Mikel Arteta, starting him over Ricardo Calafiori, a £42 million summer signing. Myles Lewis-Skelly ducks inside, bends one into the far corner off his weak foot, and what a celebration, replicating the meditative pose, just seeing who's coming out, the meditative pose of Erling Haaland. Bit of previous between Haaland and Lewis-Skelly from the first game, and that beef between Gabriel and Haaland was kind of subplot all through the game. And I mean, the brass balls on that boy to celebrate in that way, but we know that about him. We knew that from the first game against Man City when Mikel Arteta entrusted him with his Premier League debut. He was booked in that game before he even came off the bench for encouraging, shall we say, David Raya to go down injured. He came on, he put himself about, and we knew then we had a guy with a special personality. He showed it again today. I mean, to take that chance on, to take responsibility in those moments. It's something we've said all season. Do we have enough players willing to take on a bit of individual responsibility in the final third? And I think, if anything, that's been something that's been missing from his game. You know, showing that maturity and that sense of, I'm going to take this into my own hands. He does it there, scores a beautiful goal, celebrates in style. What a moment. I mean, the roof came off the place. Except there isn't a roof. But if there had been one, it would have been long gone. Kai Havertz then gets his goal, which I'm delighted for him. I think the narrative tomorrow with the close of the transfer deadline would have been perhaps dominated by that miss had Arsenal not won as comprehensively as they did here. And this was an interesting Kai Havertz performance. I think out of possession, so much of what he did was good. The pressing, the structure that he brought to the team. You can see why Mikel Arteta likes him. Could Arsenal have a more clinical number 9? Absolutely. Would that player start over Kai Havertz the way Arteta wants to play in his system? I'm genuinely not sure. Even like an Ollie Watkins figure, you know, would he have been coming in to be that starting number 9 over Havertz? Maybe in certain games, but it is a complex situation. What do Arsenal do? I think they need to try and get someone who can support Havertz, who can take the burden off him, who can play the last 20 minutes of games. Who can rotate with him when required. You know, if it's a loan, a player, an emergency loan, someone who can just give us a bit of cover. Because if Kai Havertz gets an injury, Arsenal are in big trouble. Then Nwaneri comes off the bench, and just when you think Myles Lewis-Skelly has made it all about him, the other academy product scores his second beautiful goal of the week. Cutting inside, bending it into the far corner. I think we can call that a trademark Nwaneri goal. If you look back at his footage from his academy days, he scored that goal all through the system, all through the academy. He's so comfortable in those positions. He's so confident in those positions. And when we speak about adding to the attack in January, I think what Nwaneri's done since Bukayo Saka was injured, and it's such a shame he missed a few weeks with an injury of his own, he has added another option. He really, really has. Because if you've got Nwaneri as someone who can play on the flanks, then that frees Trossard up to maybe be one of your strikers. Listen, I still think we need something tomorrow, and I really hope we can find it. I'm not particularly confident at this point in time. But the addition of Nwaneri truly to the first team setup really does augment this attack. And I continue to really like what he offers in that right wing position. Can you buy a backup for Saka? No, but we might have made one. We really might have made one. And I think, whether that's position in the long term or not, it's the position for him right now. I think he's superb cutting in from that side. What to say about today? I mean, look, we dominated City in that second half. Gabriel and Saliba will have enjoyed their battle against Haaland, who I thought scored a terrific header, by the way. That was a really excellent header from him. But in the end, we were the right side of it. Thomas Partey had a really good game in midfield. You saw how much better we are when he plays in that position rather than at right back. Declan Rice pressing on from that number 8. If Declan Rice had gone to Man City, I think that's how Pep Guardiola would have used him. As a number 8, pressing high, winning the ball high up the pitch. He's maybe the best in the world at it. And I think if Arsenal really are going to get Zubimendi in the summer, which I think is their intention, we're going to see plenty more of Declan Rice in that position. I think we need to, in a way, close that debate. I think we need to go for it. I think we need to accept this is the plan. And maybe that changes how we treat the left wing position, the kind of player we're looking for there. Because I think in the biggest games, you want Rice doing the job he did today as a box-to-box force. And frankly, City, with the lack of legs in their midfield, just could not live with him. Havertz, as I say, we saw every side of Kai Havertz today. Really bad miss, really nice finish from a much harder chance. And they're asking me if there's going to be any signings. You have to wait and see, mate. And I thought off the ball, out of possession, so good, so good. Let's see if he gets the support he needs in the market, Kai Havertz. So I just worry about how much we're asking of him. Trossard, obviously had Nunes on toast at times in that first half, and Martinelli worked really hard on the right-hand side. A lot of calls for Nwaneri to start today. Very difficult to argue with Arteta, though, is it? When Nwaneri comes off the bench and scores that goal, and Martinelli and Trossard play as well as they did. They worked so hard. Defensively, the shape was very good. The press was really good, particularly in that first half. He got the big calls right today, Arteta. The right midfield 3. Got the right call at left back. And made the right call on the flanks as well. So, no complaints there. You spoke about that Wolves game maybe as being a game which could kickstart our season. That backs-to-the-wall mentality, the sense of us against the world. Well, it does seem to have had an impact. This is a really fantastic result for Arsenal after, frankly, quite a dispiriting result in the Liverpool game yesterday. I was really looking at that one thinking that could be one where they drop points. They obviously get the win. Bournemouth missed a big chance, I know, to make it 1-1. And that could have got in Arsenal's heads, but not so. They win here. They've got Newcastle away in the Carabao. Newcastle lose again at the weekend at home. If Arsenal can get the first goal in that game, that tie will be thrown into the balance. I thought it was over, but when I look at the form of the respective teams, it's not impossible. It's not impossible, especially watching Arsenal today, and they're absolutely full of belief. I worry a bit about the legs that we've got at this point after such a draining January. But yeah, I would not rule it out at all. First goal in that game is massive, absolutely massive, and Newcastle will be nervous, I think. It's a big occasion for them to reach their first cup final in God knows how long. Fantastic for Arsenal to win today. Really special to be here. Hope you all enjoyed it at home. Set the title race to one side. I think this is a pasting we owed Man City. And too often, big sides in poor runs of form have come here and we've not quite put them to the sword. Well, we really did today. I can't remember the last time that we thrashed a proper rival. We battered Chelsea at the end of last season, but they were nowhere near us at that point in time. This was a real thrashing, something to really savour, and some special moments from 2 academy players who I couldn't be more proud of. Thrilled for all you guys at home. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave it there for now, and I'll speak to you all on Wednesday from St James's. Take care. Bye bye.